Okay, and that will represent the dado that I will be making. Now, part of the reason for doing it in this direction is when I glue a nail it, the nails are going to be coming through this end into here, and that will help give this some strength from the weight pulling down, partly the glue joint as well as the nails running through to give me some extra strength. Now, again, what I can do if I come over and let's do the same thing on this side. Come over 1/4 of an inch. Click. Come down, line up with this. Click, and come over. And you'll see once we have done both ends, this top area that represents that top board is now separated. And what I want to do is I want to carry this line all the way across to represent my dado. And dado again is, if you haven't done this kind of work before, it's a special kind of set of saw blades you can put on your saw so that when you make a cut, the cut will be the full width of the material you're using as you make this cut in here. And that's, of course, done with a dado blade. Now, to get this done correctly, what I have to do is come over and also fill in these sides. Okay, I need to do the same thing on the bottom section. And I will have to ask your forgiveness because in this lesson, as you noticed a few moments ago, right in the middle of it, my phone rang. I had to answer the phone, which kind of interrupted the flow of this lesson. I will see if I can cut that section out later. If I get it cut out, you'll wonder what I'm talking about right now. If I don't get it cut out, you'll know that that's what the interruption was my phone ringing. And as luck would have it, when the phone rang, it was wrong number. So not only was it an interruption, but it was a purely interruption. Wasn't anybody who was looking for me or had anything to say. All right, so here I'm finishing the final dado. All right, so if I move out, you can see that we now have the design for our framework for this pull-out. And the other thing that's nice is, and I'll show you later, now we know the exact measurements to cut our wood to make this item. And we can go back and use the measurement tool so we can have this all laid out, have our plan made out in complete detail. Now, the other thing is we need some boards attached across here for the sliders, because the sliders need to be screwed into the pull-out section as well as the base cabinet. And after looking at several different commercially made cabinets, I decided that generally where some of them put that support across here is about 1/3 of the way up the whole section. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and start at the bottom corner, and I'm going to come up, miss the corner here. There we go. Come up 10 inches. Not quite 1/3, but close to 1/3. Okay. And click. And what I want to do here is I want to make a section for the boards that I'm going to put through here. And one of the things that if you've built many things, you'll know a rectangular shape like this is not a very stable shape. with loads. It could wiggle, it could bend, could break screw joints. So this board that we're going to put through here is going to serve the purpose of our sliders, as well as it's going to make this shape a rigid shape by creating a brace through the center of here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another board in here that's 3 inches wide. So to get that measurement, I'm going to come across to the outside edge here, click, come up 1.5 inches, and do the same thing. Click here, come down 1.5 inches. Click. Now I have those references. I can use my box tool. There we go. Draw a box in here to that dimension. And click. Now, before I go any further, I want to get rid of these lines, so I'm going to click on them and delete those. And there is our thing, and I want my wood is 5/8 of an inch thick, so I'm going to push this in for 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so there is a notch, and I will be actually cutting that notch out of each of these boards. I can come and grab this, pull this across over to here, and there is my brace piece. Now, I've got some extra lines in here because of the way I constructed this. This is actually a notch that's going to be cut out of these 2 end boards, and this is going to be inset and glued and nailed into place for strength. Now I'm going to highlight all of that board. You can see I've got it highlighted there. All right, and right click, make it a component, call it my brace board. Make sure replace is clicked. Create. Now I can hit M for my move tool, and I'm going to click on this edge, hold down the left mouse key as I do that, hit the control button to make a duplicate, and slide that duplicate right straight across to the other side. Alright, so now we have the basic structure that we need for our slide out drawer. Okay, you can see right here. And what I would need to do then is consider shelf spaces, other kinds of things. Also, the thing that I did at this point was I drew just a simple rectangular shape to show where the slider was going to be. So I'm just going to click on here and come out with a red axis line, so that I can come in and draw that shape for the slider. And the slider needs to be a 1/2 inch thick, and you'll see I've got 3/8 by 1 1/8 as my shape. So I'm going to click on it and then come back and retype in my measurement. 3/8, shift, quote for inch mark, comma, space, and I'm going to make it 1 1/2 inches tall. Hit enter so that I have my shape. Get rid of that line now. And I could double click on this, and again, once I've got it highlighted, I'm going to right click, make component, and name it drawer pull. Again, make sure your replace is done, and create. Now, part of the reason for doing that is, again, I want to keep things separate. It works out later, but see, I can click on this now and move this up, down, and get it centered. In fact, if I find the center, I can sometimes click and it'll automatically get at the center. And use the pull tool, push pull tool, and pull this back to the back to represent my slider.